Hello, everyone, and welcome to the art exhibit and Meet the Artist for Vinnie Bumatay, also the manager of the Artist Gallery in Virginia Beach. This is the Virginia Beach Public Library, and I'm your host, Sandy Hopkins, librarian for our programming and community outreach, with Robert Kennedy, the volunteer art gallery coordinator for the Myra E. Oberdorf Central Library.
Thanks, Sandy, and welcome to all. We're very glad that you've joined us. Artist Vinnie Bumatay, manager of the Artist Gallery in the Virginia Beach Arts Center, has a degree in product design from the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. He's worked as a certified custom picture framer, designer, and artist. A painter and a sculptor, Vinnie's art has a wide range of influences, including from the past, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Rembrandt, Degas, Monet, and John Singer Sargent, as well as contemporary artists Odd Nerdrum and Dan McCaw. Vinnie's acrylic paintings are inspired by light and movement, and his subjects are anything or anyone with a story to tell. The figure and place create an atmosphere that describes a mood and narrative, which dictates the painting style. Light guides the viewer, evoking emotions and revealing a sense of movement. His current work tells his story through dance, but he's also exploring other possibilities. Thanks for joining us, Vinnie. We look forward to your show.
Hi, Robert and Sandy. Thank you for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate all that you do for the artist gallery is a big part of my art world. I spend half my time managing the gallery and other half creating as an artist. We have a large family at the gallery, and all of us give a lot to support and promote the gallery. It is run like a cooperative. It was founded by Constance Fahey, and there are several artists that had a key role in getting us to where we are today. Community recognizes our efforts and supported us. We needed to expand. He wanted us to be in a newly developed Vibe Creative District. When the Virginia Beach Art Center was born, we moved in and started to grow. This is where we're located in the Virginia Beach Vibe District, south and on Virginia Beach Boulevard. The address is 532 Virginia Beach. Color purple was chosen for the building in order to stand out from the rest and brand the Art Center. This is a plein air painting that I did outside of the Art Center. The layout of the Art Center is to aid in viewing of all the art and ease the flow of foot traffic. You see the studios, there's up to 9 studios, small, medium, large. I'm in a medium studio, which is the 9x14. It'll be located on the layout. And everything green is where the artist gallery, and in between the green and in the corridor is part of the artist gallery as well. The Art Center is where the front gallery, which is the Brock Gallery, and the Rawls classroom and the pottery studio in the back. I'm the lucky one that has windows in my studio. These are views from the corridor looking in the artist gallery. Other artists in their studios, that's Constance Fahey and Bill Campbell. We have up to 19 resident artists, studio artists, about 38 exhibiting all artists or displays, pottery and jewelry. There is an ebb and flow of art and materials that go through my studio. Sometimes it can get very crowded. In my tight studio, I managed to paint, set up still lifes, and I paint from my cell phone because of the convenience. It's a constant balancing act between painting and managing the gallery. We greet visitors and give tours. Sharing our art experience with the public is what we are all about, and the public. We do have events outside of the gallery, like Taste of Art, to out, sell, and educate. We even collaborate with other businesses with satellite exhibitions. Virginia Beach Drawing Group is a program we recently started that allows local artists to practice their skills from a live model twice a month. And I definitely take advantage of that to elevate my skills. Another program is our Plein Air League that we have once a month, where artists come together, paint outdoors or indoors. This really gets me on a schedule of painting, so I really rely on this to be able to produce something. Here you see us painting in someone's backyard. My piece is the one on top. And you can see what I was looking at this view. We enjoy our plein air events. This is me painting, an artist painting the view, which helps me practice with the figure. I enjoy it. It's a great way to socialize, get out in the sun from the studios, learn from each other. This is landing. When this is when the water was gone from there, and that was the first time I've seen something like that. I thought it was interesting. We paint at the Hermitage Museum in Norfolk. And this is the a Bergey's farm in Congo. Also the Chrysler. The Chrysler is amazing. They support us. They allow us to go on their premises, inside their regular exhibition, and paint next to the piece. You can set up in front of a painting and try to emulate the artist. Great way to learn. I recommend it to all artists to try to copy other artists. This is another event in Suffolk, which we collaborate with them. They have this big plein air event. The Narrows here in Virginia Beach. My first time there. It's a beautiful place. I recommend going there. I also do the botanical gardens. It's an amazing place. Here you can see the crabapple tree blossoms that I wanted to capture. Had fun. Also do evenings. However, not as much. This was an event we did near the gallery. The gallery was a focal point from artists. The Art Center has monthly exhibitions that inspire artists to create and show their artworks. Fabulous Forgeries is one of the favorite exhibitions. You can master artists or use their style in a creative way. In the process, you can elevate your own skills. I started painting landscapes when I first moved. And I was in awe with the land and the city and the skyscapes. I started to venture into I really want to put motion into my painting. So you'll notice the exploration with how I push the medium. Techniques may vary, may change, may evolve, but I have fun doing it. That was Bob's Tackle Shop before they put that mural on the building. G Beach goes in front. And you can see the different styles. Sometimes the painting dictates the way I paint it, and it could be something that just caught my eye that I wanted to try. Like Hopper was an influence in this piece that I wanted to do with the narrow theater. Wildlife. Then I venture out of Virginia. This was my first trip to Maine. I did quite a few exploring and painting outdoors. Love the skyscapes. This headlight. More of what Maine is all about, the shipbuilding campus. And I do overseas as well. This is the tiger's nest in Bhutan, China. Use I look through travel magazines and I see images, and so I take that and use that as a reference and create a new world on my canvas, referencing those images. This piece here is all about the prayer flags, capturing the motion and the individual monk. The way I paint is I draw with my brush. I don't sketch anything out. I just start with the brush. I do an painting and it builds up. It's almost like sculpting in 2D with color. As you can see here, it's the underpainting, laying the composition out little by little, building it up with color, value, and the more information I put in there, it becomes more of a finished painting. And as a commission, so I do several commissions as well. You can see the looseness in this style and how impressionistic it is. You can hear as Lost in Your Melody and part of one of the monthly exhibition themes. I collaborated with a poet at the same title, and reading the poem, it inspired me to produce this. I was fortunate enough to be chosen in creating the Norfolk Harbor Fest poster in 2005 and 2009. This one is the 2005 poster featuring the schooner that they had revealed at that time. And this is the 2009 Harbor Fest poster. I was also invited to do the Neptune Festival 2015. That was fun. I wanted to get all the elements of the festival in this piece and brand it. Very colorful. I explore 3D as well. This piece was inspired by a packing material made out of paper pulp. And I saved it because it was very interesting and I didn't know what was gonna happen with it. But years down the road, this idea came, and this piece is all about texture, motion with the painting and the three-dimensional, like it's a three-dimensional canvas. I love sculpting, so I sculpt as well. I was an assistant sculptor with one of the artists here in Virginia Beach, Richard Stravitz, for years. Worked with clay, learned about the lost wax process, and got to know how bronze statues are made. It was a fun experience. I'd like to continue it. But now in the Art Center, we have the pottery program, and I can see myself doing something in that. I'm taking classes and spending some time with the pottery to see what I can do to complement my painting. An underwater scene, more figurative and dance. The motion in this piece is exaggerated by negative space. So I use negative space a lot in accentuating the movement. On this one, it's very exaggerated. You can see around the individual how the paint has motion to exaggerate his motion. Play around with the edges as well. You have sharp edges, you have soft edges, and you'll see that throughout most of the paintings. The light is also important. Here I explore a technique to really exaggerate the movement, and you can tell by the edges how blurry. And that's a technique that I like to use. This one is, I really got lost in the fabric of this. I really brought that to the forefront. So dance and ballet is something I really gravitate to because it makes the human figure look beautiful. It has long lines. It elevates the figure, and it allows me to play with it. And sometimes I exaggerate it to give it some sort of bling and sophistication. Drama with light, more exaggeration with techniques that I use to break up the paint, break up the forms, the edges to give you a feeling of movement. This piece here, I used a different tool other than a brush. It's a brayer. It's like a miniature rolling pin where I would dip it in the paint and then just roll it across the canvas to give you that repetitive rhythm, that repetitive feel of music. I was listening to music while I was doing this. It was the flamenco music, and it's very repetitive and upbeat. So I wanted to infuse that in this painting. So this technique was appropriate for that. Once again, the negative space is emphasizing the movement and helping in showing that. Light being used in a dramatic way, translucency. I use warm against cool to create a vibration between the colors, which also add to motion and movement of. This one was a fun one. My favorites. Uh, I hope that you can come and see some of my works at the opening reception on Wednesday, May 3rd, at the Myra Orbendorf Central Library.
Thanks very much, Vinny. That was really an impressive array of different subjects and styles and techniques. And for your show at the Central Library, I was wondering, are you going to have a particular focus or theme, or will it be a variety?
It would be focusing on movement and will be an example of how that relates to different subject matters. So there'll be a handful of different themes, but all under the same idea of showing movement.
Excellent. And you really do that well. I'm very impressed by that. Just loved And particularly, I'm in love with some of the dance paintings. Has your style changed or your palette changed over the years, or again, is it the subject matter that dictates that?
It does. My style does evolve. It becomes more focused and involved, and I start to narrow it down by uh, I guess picking what's more effective in review trying to tell a story basically with movement.
Okay, and I noticed that some of your paintings seemed like watercolor or pastel, and but I guess are acrylic. Is that correct, or do you also work in those media?
Well, partly is probably it wasn't a good photograph of it. The other part is that the beauty of acrylics is you can make it look like watercolor, a pastel, oil, depending on how you apply the paint. So I can see where you get that. Um, However, I get most comments are it looks more like oil when you see it in person.
Yes, and particularly I've seen, for example, that gorgeous dance figure, and that certainly looks like an oil. It really has a depth, and again, your wonderful sense of movement there. Besides your brushes, you mentioned some other implements of art that you've used. Are there any others interesting
Uh,
tools of the trade that you've used?
they're pretty common among painters. There's the palette knife. There is the brayer, which is a little rolling pin, rubber rolling pin. And those are the three types.
Okay. And you also mentioned using, I believe, your phone. Um, uh, could you describe how you are taking photographs of them? I know you work, with a plein air and so forth, but
Yeah, I definitely use um, photographs, photographs that I've taken, photographs that were given to me, or images that I've seen anywhere, like on magazines or film. And what I try to do in those cases is um, pull from maybe a composition or a form or a pose and elaborate on that and make it my own in what I'm trying. So it is hard to imagine um, meant without seeing it. And once you see it, then you can capture that movement, but then interpret it in different ways. You can make the individual, or they could be wearing a different outfit or a costume or nothing at all. So it's up to the story that's being told. That's how I.
absolutely. Well, you're a very talented artist, and you have a whole slew of wonderful artists at the Artist Gallery, and you do a great job managing it. If and I know you have classes there, but if you were giving advice to someone who wants to, whatever age, get involved in the arts, whether at the artist gallery or on their own, what advice would you give to them?
I constantly run into artists who are shy and afraid to show their work or take. I would advise artists to not be afraid, feed that artist within you. So that would be the number one advice. Take that extra step to give to yourself the opportunity to express yourself in a creative way.
Very good advice, Vinny. And we hope that everyone will join us for his reception, which, as you can see there, is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Myra E. Orbendorf Central Library in Virginia Beach. It's in the center of Virginia Beach. Easy to get to, plenty of parking, and it will be a great time. And also, if you can't make it, or even if you can, stop by again. His show will be on the wall from May 1st through the 31st. So thanks again for joining us, Vinny, and we thank all our viewers as well. Join us again next month for another Meet the Artist video.
Thank you.